All right, so we're gonna take a look at this clip from YMH. Obviously, Two Bears, One Cave, featuring Big J Okerson. Because I'm always curious about these stories that Jay likes to share, maybe on purpose, maybe on accident. But he'll talk about guys like Nate Bargatze and Kevin Hart, right? Two huge names in the comedy space right now. Two guys that could really, you know, lose a lot if some crazy shit was to come out. Especially a guy who is pretending to be a Christian man, you know? And that's not Kevin Hart. But let's hear what Jay says about Kevin Hart in this story here.
Starting with Kevin Hart in comedy.
Yeah.
When we would go around.
This is so fascinating.
When we would go around like younger and do like shows or like little college things or something.
Yeah.
You know, at Kev's confidence, he'd have like girls back at the hotel room. And I just remember the time he's like, dare me to show my dick. So I was like, gotcha. Hey, Kev, I dare you to show your dick. And he's like, okay. And he just pulls out like.
You also have to remember during these times that Big J is talking about this, Kevin Hart was not a big star. Okay? He wasn't even big. Kevin Hart is kind of muscular now, but he's still a small guy. He gained all that muscle so that way people wouldn't constantly make fun of him for being short, right? We've seen it. Joe Rogan's done it. Not uncommon, okay? But imagine a very different, nerdier version of Kevin Hart pulling girls and then having Jay play the wingman saying, hey, you should pull your... Like, that's crazy. Crazy. And the stories don't end with just Big J and Kevin Hart because he shared some shit about Nate Bargatze that you're like, wow. Nate isn't who everybody thinks he is. But let's hear more about this Kevin Hart.
It's like a large size part of his body weight is this dick. And like and then again, almost Bert like.
Yeah.
I remember because I didn't ask him to do that for me. So his dick's out, and then these girls were like, "Oh wow, oh boy!" And then he goes, he goes, Jay, I dare you to play your dick. You're like, don't do that, dude.
No, don't do
Please
that to me.
What's so funny about that story? When I told her last night, I didn't want to. It wasn't the point of the story. So.
The thing that I always wonder when it comes to these guys is like, I get it, you're part of the Legion of Skanks and all that shit. You're degenerate comedians, but it's like, how much degeneracy do you want to share? How much are you willing to share for a few thousand views? Right? Like, you didn't get paid for this. You shared this story on Two Bears, One Cave. Like, okay? And then it's like, you gotta wonder why these guys aren't associating with you anymore. Because perhaps they would say, like, hey man, there are some things that you shouldn't share. Right? Could make me look bad. Especially if more information comes out later about somebody being like a scumbag. It's like, well look, even Big J was saying, 3 years ago that this was, sharing stories about stuff that happened in the early 2000s or whatever. Let's hear some more.
So I moved past it a bit, but that night it was a real pretty girl, 3 black girls, one very pretty, the other 2 were looked like TSA prison guards or something. It was like they had cornrows, but like 5, like 2, and then like 1 down. Like it was not a good look. And then it ended up working out for him with the one. So these are days of sharing hotel rooms.
Yeah,
wasn't even a question.
That's another thing too, is not just sharing hotel rooms, but it seems like these guys were sharing women, sharing beds, maybe even sharing fluids. The stories are much more diabolical than one would be able to understand, unless you live that life. At this point, you're just kind of like, okay, that's what you're willing to share. What are you hiding, What are you not saying to people? Because Andrew Santino certainly never talks about, Duncan Shaw, his first attempt at, YouTube shit. That's something you'd bring up just to laugh at, right? Doesn't do it. Are you ashamed of it?
So it's it's a huge dick.
Is there any fucking shame anymore?
And he goes in the bathroom with one of the girls, and then it was making the other 2 horny for sure, hearing them, because it was the noises of I thought maybe murder, but it was. I just never heard those noises before.
Yeah.
I've never hit that spot that makes those noises, I guess. But this girl was just getting power railed, and to tell you how long ago it was, The Matrix had just come on HBO, and it was running, and I saw it in the theater. And I remember being annoyed by the Matrix movie. Not that I enjoyed the movie, but I was so annoyed that every person who like all of a sudden thought they were a philosopher was like, makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Jesus, that's what movies do to a lot of people, man. Like the one guy that you just see a thing and you're like, wow, this just changed who I am. Now I'm a different guy because of fucking Blow. You know what I mean? Like, all right, that's the wrong. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, really, like maybe that's what we're in. It goes, I don't think so. But man, those girls were like, what do you want to do? You're like, oh God. Yeah. And they're like, what do you want to do? And I was like, have you seen this yet? It makes you think. I'm like, is this even, maybe this isn't even all, maybe they're not even fucking in there. It's just two robots smashing.
Like I said, the whole reason to bring this up is looking at these stories that other comedians have shared about the guys that have somehow surpassed, a level of fame. They're huge now. Right? Imagine what people are saying or what people could say about guys like Sebastian Maniscalco. Was he a degenerate? Who knows? I doubt it, but I'm just saying. They do have relationships with guys that it might not be good anymore, right? So they might have a reason to say something sort of out of school. Either way, I find it entertaining, and every time these stories are shared, you're like, I'm surprised, but not as much as I thought I'd be. If you like this reaction, you like this channel, subscribe, like, all that stuff. Support the channel the best way by hitting that subscribe button and that like button. I'm rambling at this point, but until the next time.